This is a summary video of the chapter 2, polynomials. So we'll see what all topics are there under this chapter. First one, the introduction part. Second, we have covered what is a polynomial, in one variable. Next, zero of a polynomial. Zeros of a polynomial. Then we have covered what is a remainder theorem. Yes, then we studied factorizing a polynomial. Factorization of polynomials. Finally, we studied some algebraic identities. So these are all the topics we have covered under the chapter polynomials. First of all, what is a polynomial? So polynomials are expressions with one or more terms with a non-zero coefficient. Here you can see polynomials are expressions. These are the expressions. Expressions with one or more terms. Here how many terms you can see? 3 terms, right? So polynomial is an expression with one or more terms. It may be 1 term, 2 terms or 3 terms. Here you can see 3 terms with a non-zero coefficient. You can see a non-zero coefficient here 5, and also what is here? A non-zero coefficient 1. So the definition is polynomials are expressions with one or more terms with a non-zero coefficient. With a non-zero coefficient. This is the definition for polynomials. These are the expressions with one or more terms. Here you can see one or more terms, 3 terms with a non-zero coefficient. Non-zero coefficients are what? 1, 5. These are the non-zero coefficients. Now, another point under polynomials. As I have already told, you can write polynomials can have more than one term. Okay. What do you mean by a coefficient? See, 2x plus 1. In this, what is the coefficient of x? Coefficient of x is what? 2. Is this a polynomial? Yes, this is a polynomial. With how many terms? It has 2 terms. 2x is one term, 1 is another term. So this is a polynomial with 2 terms. Now, polynomials in one variable. So a polynomial in one variable are the expressions which consist of only one type of variable in the entire expression. That means consider 3x. How many variables are there in this expression? Only one variable. So this is a polynomial in one variable. Take another example. 2x cube minus 3x square, 2x cube plus 3x square minus 5x plus 8 equal to 0. Is this a polynomial with one variable? Of course, because it is having only one variable, that is what? X. Right? So these are the examples for polynomials in one variable. Polynomials in one variable are the expressions which consist of only one type of variable. Here it is x. In the entire expression you have only one type of variable. So such an expression you can call as polynomial in one variable. Okay. Now we will see some of the important points. What is a degree of a polynomial? Degree of a polynomial. What do you mean by a degree of a polynomial? It is the highest power of the variable in a polynomial. Consider a polynomial 2x square plus 3x. Okay. What is the degree of this polynomial? 2. What is the highest power of the variable? Okay. Not the constant. What highest power of the variable you call as what? Degree of a polynomial. X cube minus 3x square, x cube plus 3x square minus 5x. What is the degree of the polynomial here? 3. Okay. Now, on the basis of degree of a polynomial, it is divided into 3 types. Okay. What are the 3 types? Linear polynomial, quadratic polynomial, cubic polynomial. So what is a linear polynomial? It is a polynomial of degree 1. This is a linear polynomial. Okay. For example, 2x. What is the degree of x? 1. Now, what is a quadratic polynomial? It is a polynomial of degree 2. Example, x square. Okay. Cubic polynomial is a polynomial of degree 3. X cube. Example. Okay. Now, in this polynomial, how many terms are there? Not the degree, how many terms are there? You can see 4 terms are there. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So on the basis of number of terms, polynomials are divided into again 3 types. Monomial, binomial, trinomial. What is monomial? Polynomial with one term, not the degree. Don't get confused. It's not the degree. It's the term, number of terms. One term. You can take whatever with one term. It can be 2. It can be just an x. It can be x square. Whatever with one term. Okay. So binomial is a polynomial with 2 terms. Example, 2x plus 1. Trinomial is a polynomial with 3 terms. What is an example for 3 terms? Anything you can take. X plus 3x plus x square plus 3x plus 3, whatever, with 3 terms. That's it. This is the classification of polynomials based on number of terms. Don't get confused with number of terms and degree of a polynomial. linear polynomial, quadratic polynomial, cubic polynomial is based on the degree. Monomial, binomial, trinomial is based on the number of terms. Now we will see what is a constant polynomial and what is a zero polynomial is. What do you mean by a constant polynomial? Which has constant terms such as 2, 3, 1, 5, etc. It will be constant, it can't vary. If you say x, y, these are variables, it can vary, its value can vary, but these are what? Constant terms. So we will call as what? A constant polynomial. What do you mean by a zero polynomial? A constant polynomial 0 is called what? A zero polynomial. See, this is what a zero polynomial is. Constant polynomial 0 is called a zero polynomial. So can you say what is the degree of a zero polynomial? What is the degree of a zero polynomial? It is not defined. Degree of a zero polynomial is not defined. Now, what is the degree of a non-zero constant polynomial? So, degree of a non-zero constant polynomial is 0. You can note it down. Degree of a zero polynomial is not defined. Degree of a non-zero constant polynomial is 0. These are the important points regarding the polynomials. Now come to the next part. Zeros of a polynomial. Zero of a polynomial means the points where the polynomial becomes 0 as a whole. Okay. At what point that particular polynomial becomes 0? At what value of x or y? Take an example. P of x equal to 2x plus 1. You need to find the 0 of the polynomial. What will you do? You will equate it to 0. Then you will find the value of x. So 2x equal to, this 1 will go this side, minus 1, x equal to minus 1 by 2. So at x equal to minus 1 by 2, the whole polynomial becomes 0. So this is the 0 of the polynomial. Now how will you check whether minus 2 is a 0 of the polynomial x plus 2? How will you check this? First of all, the question is P of x is equal to x plus 2. You need to check whether minus 2 is a 0 of this polynomial. That means when you put the value of x equal to minus 2, you need to get what? 0. Okay. So you will put the value of x as minus 2. Now minus 2 plus 2. What is the value? 0. So you can say minus 2 is a 0 of the polynomial x plus 2. The same thing, can you check whether 2 is a 0 of the polynomial x plus 2? It can't be, because if you replace the value of x as 2, it will become what? 2 plus 2 equal to 4. Is it equal to 0? No. So that is not a 0 of the polynomial. This is how you will find the 0 of certain polynomial. So the same way you can find what? P of 1, P of 2, P of 3 by changing the value of x as 1, 2, 3, and you can check. Okay. Or in the question itself, they'll give one polynomial, P of x is equal to 2x minus 1. You need to find P of 2 minus P of minus 2 plus P of 3. What will you do? First you will find what is P of 2 by putting the value of x as 2. Then you will find P of minus 2. Suppose P of 2 is what? Okay, P of 2 is what? 2 into 2, 4, 4 minus 1, 3. P of 2 is 3. P of minus 2 is, put the value of x as minus 2. Minus 4, minus 1, minus 5. So the value of P of minus 2 is minus 5. P of 3, what is the value of P of 3? Put x as 3, 3 2 is 6, 6 minus 1, 5. This is 5. Now what you need to do? What is the requirement of the question? You need to do this one. 3 minus minus 5 plus 5. Minus minus 5 will become what? Plus. 3 plus 5 plus 5. 3 plus 5, 8. 8 plus 5, 13. This is the answer. Don't just leave the question by just putting the values. You need to complete the question by solving this one. Okay. Now we will see the remainder theorem. What is remainder theorem? If P of x is any polynomial of degree greater than or equal to 1 and P of x is divided by a linear polynomial, say x minus a, then you will get the remainder as what? P of a. This is remainder theorem says. If P of x is any polynomial of degree greater than or equal to 1 and P of x is divided by a linear polynomial, suppose x minus a, then the remainder you will getting will be P of a. Let's check it. Consider an example: x cube plus 3x square plus 3x plus 1 divided by x plus 1. So you need to find what is the remainder when P of x, this polynomial, is divided by a linear polynomial x plus 1. Okay. So by remainder theorem, you know the remainder will be what? P of minus 1. How? Because this is x plus 1. X plus 1. You are dividing it by x plus 1. So the remainder will be P of minus 1. If suppose this is x minus 1, if you are dividing it by x minus 1, then what will be the remainder? P of 1. Reverse. If it is minus, it will be plus. Here it is plus. So remainder will be minus 1. Okay. So we will check it. What is the remainder? Using remainder theorem. Okay. So we know the remainder will be P of minus 1. Okay. So I am changing all the x as minus 1 whole cube plus 3 into minus 1 square plus 3 into minus 1 plus 1. Minus 1 whole cube minus 1 plus 3 into minus 1 whole square 1. 1 into 3, 3 plus minus 1 into 3 minus 3 plus 1. 3 minus 3 got cancelled. 1 minus 1 equal to 0. So you know the remainder will be 0. Okay. This is how you will find the remainder by using remainder theorem. Okay. Now, if the question is find the remainder when x cube minus ax square plus 6x minus a is divided by x minus a. Now what will be the remainder? Yes, we know by using remainder theorem, you know what remainder is. This is minus a, so remainder will be a. Okay. We will find it. P of a. Replace all the x by a. A cube minus a into, wait, P of a. A cube minus a into a square plus 6 into a minus a. A cube, a square into a cube plus 6 into a, 6a minus a. A cube minus a cube got cancelled. 6a minus a, 5a. So this is the remainder of the given polynomial. Factor theorem. Okay. So this theorem says if x minus a is a factor of the polynomial p of x. Okay. If p of a is, that is if p of c, if x minus a is a factor of p of x means what? P of a is equal to 0 because minus a is a factor, x minus a is a factor, so reverse of minus a is plus a. So p of a is equal to 0 because it is a factor of the polynomial p of x, right? then P of A equal to 0. This is what factor theorem says. Okay. If x minus a is a factor of the polynomial P of x, P of a will be equal to 0. Suppose x plus a is a factor of the polynomial P of x, then what will be equal to 0? P of minus a equal to 0. Reverse of this one. This is plus a, then here it will be minus a. This is factor theorem. So you will be getting questions like this. Check whether 7 plus 3x is a factor of 3x cube plus 7x. By factor theorem, you know, if this one is a factor of this polynomial, then if you find the 0 of this polynomial and if you put that value for x, it should be equal to 0. If this one becomes equal to 0, then we can say what? 7 plus 3x is a factor of 3x cube plus 7x. First of all, you need to find the 0 of this polynomial. How? You will equate it to 0. Okay. Then you will find a value for x. Yes. So this value you will substitute here in this equation. Then just find it out. Check whether this will become 0 or not. Okay. If it is equal to 0, you can say this is a factor of 3x cube plus 7x, or else you can say this is not a factor. 7 plus 3x is not a factor of 3x cube plus 7x. Okay. Take another example. Find the value of k if x minus 1 is a factor of 4x cube plus 3x square minus 4x plus k. How will you find the value of k? Same way, they have given x minus 1 is a factor. So you know by factor theorem, P of 1 will be 0, right? By using factor theorem, you know if x minus 1 is a factor of this polynomial, P of 1 will be equal to 0. P of 1 will be equal to 0. How I got 1 here? Because here it is minus 1. So P of 1 will be equal to 0. You can equate this one. Instead of x, you can give what? 1. So 4 into 1 cube plus 3 into 1 square minus 4 into 1 plus k is equal to what? 0. 4 plus 3 minus 4 plus k equal to 0. Plus 4 minus 4 cancelled. 3 plus k is equal to 0. So k is equal to minus 3. This is how you will find the value for k by using factor theorem. Okay. Then we studied how to factorize a given polynomial by using what? Splitting the middle term method. Splitting the middle term. Right? If 6x square plus 17x plus 5 is a polynomial, if you need to factorize this polynomial, what will you do? You will split the middle term into 2. How? First of all, you will multiply the first number and the last one, that is 6 into 5. You got 6 5s are 30. You will take the factors of 30 so that when you add it, you should get what? 17, right? You can take 15 into 2. 15 into 2 is 30. What is 15 plus 2? 17. So you can take 15 and 2. So you have taken 6x square plus 2x plus 15x plus 5. I have splitted this 17 into 2x and 15x. Now we will take the common terms here. What is the common term in 6 and 2? 6x square and 2x. You can take 2x outside. 2 into what is 6? 3. 1x we have taken. 1 more x is there. Plus 2x we have taken out. Everything we have taken out. What is there remaining? Only 1. Here you can take 5 outside. 5 into 3, 15. 3x plus 5 we have taken. So 1 will be there. 3x plus 1, 3x plus 1. 3x plus 1. What is there remaining? 2x plus 5. So you got two factors as 3x plus 1 and 2x plus 5. So this is how you will factorize a given polynomial by using splitting the middle term method. So this is in case of a quadratic polynomial. Suppose if you are getting a cubic polynomial, how will you factorize? For example, if you get x cube minus 23x square plus 142x minus 120 to be factorized, how will you factorize? Here you cannot split the middle term because there is no middle term. Here you got 4 terms. and also this is a cubic polynomial. So how will you factorize this one? First of all, you will check by putting x equal to 1 if the polynomial becomes 0 or not. Okay, first you can put x equal to 1. So I am putting x as 1. So 1 minus 23 plus 142 minus 120, and I am checking whether this is 0 or not. 1 minus 23 minus 22 plus 142, 120 minus 120 equal to 0. So this is 0. So we can say if I am putting x equal to minus 1, that is p of 1 equal to 0. I am taking the value of x as 1. I am getting the whole equation equal to 0. That means what? X minus 1 is a factor. Reverse. I am putting 1 as x and I am getting the polynomial as 0. What does it mean? X minus 1 is a factor, not x plus 1. X minus 1 is a factor. So what will I do? Then what is the next step? I can divide the whole polynomial, this x cube minus 2x 23x square plus 142x minus 120 by x minus 1, because I got x minus 1 as a factor. So again you will get what? Another quadratic polynomial. So that polynomial you can factorize by using splitting the middle term. Okay, so finally you will get 3 factors. One factor will be this one, x minus 1, and another 2 more factors you will get by using that splitting the middle term method. So this is how you will solve a cubic polynomial. Now the last topic, that is algebraic identities. Very important topic. Okay, it's very important. 4 identities you have already studied in your 8th standard. What was that? First one was a plus b whole square equal to a square plus 2ab plus b square. Then a minus b whole square equal to a square minus 2ab plus b square. Then third one, a square minus b square equal to a plus b into a minus b. Fourth, x plus a into x plus b equal to x square plus a plus b of x plus ab. So these are the 4 identities which I have already studied in your 8th standard. So now 4 more identities you will be studying. Fifth identity. What is the fifth one? X plus y plus z whole square is equal to x square plus y square plus z square plus 2xy plus 2yz plus 2xz. Okay. Now sixth one, x plus y whole cube is equal to x cube plus y cube plus 3xy into x plus y, or in another way you can write x cube plus y cube plus 3x square y plus 3xy square. Both are correct. Okay. Seventh one, x minus y whole cube. Reverse. X cube minus y cube minus 3xy into x minus y, or x cube minus y cube minus 3x square y plus 3xy square. Okay. Eighth identity, x cube plus y cube plus z cube, x cube plus y cube plus z cube minus 3xyz is equal to x plus y plus z into x square plus y square plus z square minus xy minus yz minus xz. Okay. So other than these 8 identities, we have studied 2 more identities. What are that? What are those identities? X cube plus y cube, and also we have studied x cube minus y cube. What is x cube plus y cube? X cube plus y cube is equal to x plus y into x square minus xy plus y square. Reverse of this, what is x cube minus y cube? X minus y into x square plus xy plus y square. Okay. If suppose you got a question like this, x cube plus y cube plus z cube in this form, for example 12 cube minus 12 cube plus 7 cube plus 5 cube, okay, this is in which form? X cube plus y cube plus z cube. What will you do? Which identity you will use? You don't have any identity like x cube plus y cube plus z cube. So in this case, what you need to do is, first you need to add this one, x plus y plus z. Okay, here what is x? 12. What is y? 7. Z? 5. So if you, x is minus 12. Okay, if you add this 3, what are you getting? See, 7 plus 5, 12. 12 minus 12, 0. That means you are getting x plus y plus z is equal to 0. If you are getting x plus y plus z equal to 0, in such a case you can use this formula. See, if you can note this down, if x plus y plus z is equal to 0, you can write x cube plus y cube plus z cube equal to 3xyz. This is actually your 8th identity, and also we have proved this one in your last exercise. You have one question, 13th question, if x plus y plus z is equal to 0, show that x cube plus y cube plus z cube is equal to 3xyz. So if you get any question like in this form, x cube plus y cube plus z cube, first of all you can check whether x plus y plus z is equal to 0 or not. Okay, if it is equal to 0, you can use this form. Just find 3xyz. That will be your answer. Okay, this is related to your 8th identity. So this is an important point regarding the identities. Another important thing which I need to tell you is, if you get a question like this, evaluate the following using suitable identities. Okay, like this question if you are getting, be careful, because if the question is like this, x plus 4 into x plus 10, so you know this is in the form which one? 4th identity, x plus a into x plus b, which is equal to x square plus a plus b of x into ab. So you know what is a? 4, b 10. Okay, x plus a into x plus b equal to x square plus a plus b of x plus ab, right? So we will be writing like this, x square plus a is 4, b is 10, 4 plus 10 of x plus ab, 4 into 10. Don't leave the answer like this. This is not the exact answer which you need to do, because you need to simplify it. See, x square plus 4 plus 10 is 14, 14x plus 4 into 10 is 40. You need to write like this. So do not leave any question, any answer like this. Okay, in fact this is the answer, but you need to simplify more. Okay, we need to get an answer like this in this form. Okay, if it is factorize the following by using suitable identity, you can just do like that. You just put the value and put it like that, because you need to factorize. We'll take an example. See here, if the question is 9x square plus 6xy plus y square, this is just to factorize, not to evaluate. Okay, this is to factorize. This is in the form of which identity? A plus b whole square, a square plus 2ab plus b square, right? a plus b whole square, which is equal to a square plus 2ab plus b square. Okay, this one is in this form. A square, in this question a square is 9x square. So what is a? Root of 9, 3. Root of x square, x. What is b? B square is y square. So b will be y. A plus b whole square, 3x plus y whole square. You can leave it like this because this is just to factorize. Okay, in other case that is not to factorize, that is to evaluate the following using identity. So you need to simplify as much as you can, you need to simplify it. Okay, so that's all about this chapter. Don't even leave any questions which is given in your textbook. Try to solve, try to finish each and every questions in your textbook. Okay, every exercises you need to practice, especially those proving questions. You can see in your last exercise, question number 13, you have one problem. If x plus y plus z is equal to 0, show that x cube plus y cube plus z cube is equal to 3xyz. That is important. And question number 12, verify that x cube plus y cube plus z cube minus 3xyz. This is your eighth one, eighth identity. Starting as your eighth identity, you need to verify it. That is also very important. Then ninth one also verification. X cube plus y cube identity and x cube minus y cube. Okay. So you need to be thorough with all these things. Okay, there is some more important points to be discussed regarding the zero of the polynomial. First one, a zero of a polynomial need not be 0, right? The zero of a polynomial need not be always 0. It can be 2, it can be 3, it can be 4 or any number. Okay, it's not necessary to be always 0. Second point, 0 may be a zero of a polynomial, right? 0 of a polynomial can be a 0 polynomial. Third point, every linear polynomial has one and only one zero. Every linear polynomial has one and only one zero. Finally, a polynomial can have more than one zero. Okay, a normal polynomial can have more than one zero, but a linear polynomial will only have how many zero? Only one zero. Okay, but a normal polynomial will have, it can have more than one zero. Yes. Another small part of this chapter is this formula, dividend is equal to divisor, that you already know, into quotient plus remainder. Okay, see, 12 divided by 5. Okay, if I am dividing 12 by 5, I will take 5 2s are 10, 12 minus 10 2. So here you can see 2 is the quotient, 5 is the divisor, this 12 is the dividend, and this 2 is the remainder. This thing is what? Quotient. Answer. Now see the formula, dividend is equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder. We'll check it. See, dividend is equal to divisor into quotient. What is divisor here? 5. 5 into quotient is 2. 5 into 2 plus the remainder. Remainder is what? 2 plus 2. We'll check it. 5 into 2, 10. 10 plus 2, 12. What you got? Dividend. This is the dividend, 12. So this is a small portion of this chapter. You should note it down. Dividend is equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder. Suppose they'll give as a 1 mark question, like they'll give the dividend divisor quotient, you need to find the remainder or anything. They won't give the divisor, they'll give the remainder quotient and dividend values, you need to find the divisor. So for that you can use this formula. Okay, so you can note it down. So this is a small summary of the chapter 2, polynomials. That's all.